Hey everybody, welcome to the Broken Shifter podcast. Here to talk about Indianapolis and the stupidly boring race that turned into a really interesting race. So I'm here joined today by my buddies. I am Herden.
I'm Carbon.
And I'm extraordinarily confused on what the fuck I'm driving. I'm Caboose.
That's the one.
Good.
And Carbon's going to be your host today, by the way. And
Just like
well, the past two, yeah. Carbon's going to be your host, and we're just kind of roll along with it while Caboose is doing footage.
Indeed.
Okay, so
Bye, Kozlowski.
so to start with, before we get into the actual Indy race, we just want to give a shout out to Byron. Great job on winning an Indy. You're not going to be watching this, but doesn't matter. We're still going to give you a shout out. Third win in Xfinity.
In the past four races.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see him very soon. In maybe not next year, but the year after, for sure.
I'm thinking
in a
2019.
Hendrick car.
Absolutely.
Anyways, so let's get into the race. We had Stage 1, Kyle Busch. Stage 2, Kyle Busch. And shockingly, Stage 3, not Kyle Busch. Instead, it finished with a Casey Kane. Followed by a Brad, a Newman, a Logano, and a Kenseth. So, yeah, it was... And only how many cars finished? Like 19?
I don't
Something like that?
think...
19 DNF'd.
Oh, 19 DNF.
No. I think it was 19 actually made it to when the caution flew at the end. Some of them were wrecked. Because they credit Denny Hamlin with finishing the race and stuff because the caution flew because he was so-called past the line when the caution flew. I'd say maybe 9 or 10 cars total actually came across the start-finish line, but they had to be slowed down by then because there was cars wrecked on the back stretch and they didn't fucking call it cars.
20th place, with the exception in 26th place for Jeffrey Earnhardt. 20th place is the start of every single vehicle after that, again, except with the exception of Jeffrey Earnhardt in 26th. Every other car after that has labeled either accident or part or engine on the list. So that's 19 cars finished the race in running order. The top 19 cars. And
yeah, but a lot of them still were wrecked on the last lap.
Were involved in an accident. And
I would also like to point out...
finish the race.
I just wanted to point out one little thing real quick. Corey LaJoie, 40th place. Again.
Big shocker. I don't know what happened to him. I don't remember what happened to him. I don't remember seeing anything happen to him.
I have no fucking clue.
I missed it.
No clue.
Anyways, okay, so we have a long podcast tonight.
I'm going to assume tire failure.
We're going to try and push through this a little bit faster than usual. We're going to pick the pace up. So we start out with, obviously, Kyle Busch started out really dominant this year, or this race, just like last year, and I think the year before. Him and Truex were just pretty much battling for the lead the entire time. I think
Truex
Blaney got up there
him
once.
in the ass.
Yeah, and then Truex on the restart in Stage 3 Kyle for some reason decided to take the outside, and that was one topic I want to talk about a little bit later.
Just talk about it now because this is one thing you really said to me that you.
Okay, so
it's
all night or all day yesterday, throughout the entire day, the person who started on the outside never ended up being like the person to really get that first place. Like it was always the person on the inside who ended up overtaking the other. It was
but there was twice where they got loose.
They did it multiple times, and
on the
somebody
inside.
got loose multiple times on the inside. But yeah, so Truex.
And so the outside lane would just take the lead then.
Yeah, well.
They call the wrecks
because
twice.
that's where Kyle Busch was.
Not with this incident.
That's where Kyle Busch was starting. Almost every time was the outside.
Not with this incident though,
All
because Truex got loose because he hit that
On the inside.
area on the apron, or
Rumble
past the
strip.
apron for that matter, and ended up taking Kyle Busch out. There was a little bit of a little argument in pit road between the two teams, not Kyle Busch and Truex, but between Adam
pit crews.
and two of the the pit crew members.
Crew chiefs not happy with each other.
Kyle Busch went up the track, into the wall. Truex also went
first.
up into the track. Kyle Busch came
And
back
caught
across
on
the
fire.
track. Narrowly, Newman and Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon was the most impressive one. Narrowly missing Kyle Busch.
Save of the race.
Truex, his car ended up catching fire, which was interesting.
Can we
It's
take
not
a
the only
time
time
out
that
real
a
quick?
fire happened.
Ty Dillon made the
No.
save of the race by avoiding that shit, and then pulled two boneheaded
he
moves
should've been
later in
caught.
the race.
Sadly, he should have been
He-
collected because
He would have
but-
prevented a lot of those late race cautions, because he
the Hamlin incident and
fucked
the
it
Larson
twice.
incident were both caused by him.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I like Ty
It was,
Dillon, but yep.
I was already like I had the race pulled up on the app and I was like, yeah, stage 3, okay. I was like this close to just kind of closing it out until like I saw that there was like 20 laps left because I was just done. I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore. I want to watch Kyle Busch and Truex domination again. And then that happened on the restart in the beginning of stage 3. And I was like,
And everything went out the
thank
window.
you. Time to watch this very closely. We also noticed McDowell was up there.
Right at the
And
end.
a few other a few other lower end drivers who don't usually do extremely well every week. They were
A
both
lot
up
of good
there.
finishers up
Minner's
there
made it up for a minute.
He's good at Indy. He's not bad there. I'll tell you what. I'll give you the keep going. I'm gonna pull up the finishing order because there was a lot of people in the top 10 that normally aren't. I think Danica
Okay,
got
so-
a
De Burrito.
We'll get to that in a second.
top 10. Yep.
Keep going
Yep.
through this while he's
De
looking for it.
Benedetto got one. I believe Chris
Okay.
Buescher was up there. Danica.
Guess we'll go through it now. Let's see. I have it up still. So we had Casey Kane, Newman. He places up there from time to time. Suarez, De Benedetto, Buescher, Allmendinger, Danica, Cole Witt. He placed 12th. Timmy Hill placed 14th.
The best finish of his career, probably. In the Cup Series.
And then everything else after that was just was mainly accidents.
Yeah.
So, not too bad for a lot of drivers.
Chris Buescher has actually
Um,
shown speed this year, though.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he got a
So-
good finish.
He's not in total shit equipment.
No.
So let's see. The next incident that happened was Boyer. Okay, so Menard was in, like, I guess we'll call it row 1. They were actually racing around the track, coming around turn 4. Menard was in like row 1 next to, I believe, Danica, and then behind them was Boyer and Eric Jones, and then Kurt Busch was a little ways back. They were coming around turn 4. Menard got a little loose, but he caught it. I think Boyer either checked up or something, or tried to avoid that and try to go around, and that caused him to get loose. And which
It looked
he
like it was
spun,
almost just a
slammed into the
an
inside
incident
wall, bounced back
where
onto
they
the track.
both had it at the
Well,
same
he slammed.
time.
I think he hit Eric Jones first, and then he slammed into the inside wall, bounced back onto the track, and collected Kurt Busch, and I think one other car got a little collected in it. And that was a interesting issue though, with that one.
I mean, the way it looked is like Menard got loose, he saved it, and Boyer was a couple of car lengths back from him. I mean, it was
he
just
wasn't that
weird.
far back at all. He was right behind him.
He,
I think he checked up.
he
Or
I mean, he
went
wasn't
to
on his
check up.
bumper or anything.
He was.
but-
I would say about a half car length behind him when I was watching the replay.
Yeah, but that shouldn't pull the air off.
Close enough for aerodynamics to mess
I don't
with.
think it pulled the air off. I think he checked up. I think he went to
There was-
he thought he
there
was
was
going
a
to
lot of
spin, so he
aero
went to
issues
let
there.
off. I think he reacted to let off,
Alright.
and that caused his car to do something weird.
And Carbon also wanted to bring up the helmet cam, Kurt Busch,
Yeah.
during that.
We finally got to see a major accident because that was a hit. That was a hard hit with the helmet cam on Kurt Busch. And
The helmet ham.
The helmet cam.
That sounds like
Oink,
something
oink, motherfucker.
Eric Almirola needs. Smithfield sponsors him and get the helmet ham.
Yeah. And then the next incident we had was
We're
Larson.
stupid here.
Yeah, a little bit. Larson got pushed by Ty Dillon into the wall. This was the first of a couple incidents of Ty Dillon's doing. And it kind of appeared that the speedy dry may have had a small
May have
factor in
played
it.
a small factor, but Ty Dillon did push him all the way down
Speedy
the
Dry
track.
was fucking everywhere.
Hey, I don't understand this fucking bullshit with the speedy dry. Why the hell did they not take the vacuum trucks out on there and fucking get that goddamn shit off the track? It was the whole way around the track on the inside. Ty Dillon drove Larson straight down into the wall. I'm not a Larson fan. He's a great driver. I don't hate him. I don't like him. He's a great driver. But there's no reason he should be driving through that shit. And obviously, with multiple drivers complaining that there's oil on the track down in the speedy dry, maybe we should clean this shit up a little bit better next time.
The worst part is, of that Clint Boyer incident, they did do a double take on the Speedy Dry.
No, fucking stupid. And Ty Dillon
Yeah, I don't know.
blatantly pushed him all the way down into the wall.
Oh, that
And
was-
Larson had nothing to do.
That was an asshole move more than it was a blocking move.
Ty Dillon's
there were
not like
so many
Austin.
incidents on the main straight, which doesn't happen. It was insane.
I think it's safe to say Ty is a little bit more old school in his driving methods around other people.
Yeah, but I mean, that one pushed it a little too far. And then he also fudged it later.
That one pushed Larson a little too far into the wall.
Mm.
But
Can't
yeah,
be
you
doing
can
that
see
shit.
like the cars coming up on the outside or the inside, I guess, right next to the pit wall, where all that speed dry was, all the way down that thing, and you could see them sliding, like they weren't able to handle on that surface.
No.
Mm-mm.
I mean,
They
honestly,
didn't
had
do a good
Larson
job.
came flying through there, it would not have surprised me even the least bit. Had Ty Dillon not done anything, except maybe close that gap a little bit, had Larson came flying through there like he was, it would not have surprised me if he would have spun himself just because of that speedy dry.
Oh,
Cars
yeah.
behind
Well,
were getting.
he was just trying to make a pass. He was faster than
Yeah.
Ty Dillon. And Ty Dillon just didn't want him to get by.
Which is dumb. Like, Johnson already proved earlier in the race you shouldn't do that because it's not going to work. It's just going to get you loose on the neck turn, and Larson will move.
Right.
your ass.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to take the turn like that and be able to pass anybody. You're going to lose it on entry because you're going to get down on that rumble strip and you're going to fucking lose it and you're going to wreck half the fucking field. Just like
No, I'm not talking
happened at
about
the
that
end of the
incident.
race.
I'm talking about the one
Next topic.
earlier with Larson and Jimmy, where it was like stage 1 or whatever. Larson went to go past Jimmy on the inside on the back straight, and Jimmy drove him all the way down to the grass. And Larson just kind of stayed right on his bumper, and it caused Jimmy to get a little loose in turn 3, and he drove right around him with no issues.
Jimmy
Like,
was
if the car's
supposed to
faster
lead.
behind you at Indy, it's gonna pass you or it's gonna crash, one of the two. But speaking of
Okay.
Jimmy,
Usually it's the latter.
speaking of
So-
Jimmy Johnson,
Apparently.
The next topic the next topic you wanted to go to was the Jimmy Johnson, and we found out that it was not an engine blowing up. He was leaking oil.
Yep.
That
He
was the problem. Carry from there.
Lightning.
yeah, he was on the back straightaway. It was on a restart. Oh yeah, so I did forget to mention. The whole thing with Casey Kane for getting him into first was because he was on pit road at the time of the Boyer and Kurt Busch crash. And so that got Casey to the front. Brand new tires, full fuel,
Yep.
good to go for the rest of the race. Jimmy
Basically
and
the Tony
Keselowski-
Stewart incident last year at Sonoma.
Yeah.
Right.
Jimmy and Keselowski were behind him. Well, Keselowski was on the side. They got the restart. Casey held the start of the race. Keselowski started to drive up next to him on the turn 2. They pretty much battled side by side all the way up. Jimmy, with his car that was pouring smoke out the back, was still moving like crazy. And
it was the fastest one.
Made it 3 wide on turn 3, but he couldn't hold it down there on the apron and got himself sideways and smashed into the wall. Thoughts?
Can I propose an idea? I just thought of something. It's slightly off topic. So we saw that when the 2 fastest cars got eliminated from the race, the racing got real interesting, such as this. 3 wide going into turn 3. Holy crap. How often do you see that at Indy anymore?
You don't. You're not supposed to.
Good idea.
I think that was really the only time.
I think
apart from like
every time it went 3 wide, somebody hit that rumble strip and lost it.
Yep. So what I'm thinking is
make Indy wider.
When we go to Indy next year, if they don't make it the GP circuit, if it's not a Roval next year,
no.
I'm thinking they take the 3 fastest cars in stage 1, put them in the rear for stage 2.
Come on, man. There was only one car. There was only one car that could have come to the field like that there. I mean, if you want to do that at like the Daytona non-points race and shit like that, and they used to do it. They used to do it with the All-Star.
Because then people are just going to hold off on the first 2 stages. You're going to try and get that second or third place. Not first, so that they don't get kicked to the back.
You sit there, as long as you stay on the lead lap. Yeah,
it's going to have the reverse effect of what you're planning it to have.
Yeah, get the stage points. You know, get the stage points. The stage points have made better racing than it's been in a long time.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed with it at first, but I'm liking it now, halfway through
There's been a couple of bad ones.
Season. Yeah.
But overall, it's been an improvement.
I would like stage racing would have fixed any of those issues, or not having stage racing would have fixed those races, though. So.
No.
I think we need to get the NASCAR snipers out and start taking
Kentucky
out
wouldn't have fixed
Scott Bush's tires.
No.
During the podcast, during the Road Curve Show podcast, Michael did say something about snipers up at the towers. But that's what he was referring to as the spotters, and I'm like, I knew it. We knew it. There are snipers.
Yeah.
It's the tire snipers.
Yeah. You know what though? I'm gonna commend Indy real quick, or not Indy, but Goodyear. As much as Kyle Busch likes to bitch about Goodyear tires, they finally brought a good goddamn tire to this track. Finally.
Yep. Yeah, there weren't that many.
As many issues as they've had.
There were not that many tires.
I mean,
were there?
No, I think there was one flat tire.
Any.
I think that was it.
Yeah, I think it was
there was one at the very beginning of the race. There was one flat. There was one flat right at the beginning, but that was it.
The 7 he had a flat tire, but only because he hit the wall before. I think everything was just caused by rubbing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, yep. I mean, you break those fenders, and they're gonna cut the fucking. I mean, it's metal on rubber. It's gonna cut it. It is gonna happen going 200 miles an hour. But hey, carry on, sir.
Alrighty. So next up was another restart incident. So we had
big shocker.
Kane. No. Yeah, Kane on the inside. This is also another time when Keselowski decided he wanted to take the outside. And then behind him was Trevor Bayne and Denny Hamlin. And then behind that was McDowell and somebody else. I don't remember who it was. I think it was Blaney. And so what happened was McDowell was riding the bumper of Trevor Bayne. And
that inside line was not going initially.
Yeah, the inside line didn't go because the outside line had to go anyways. Keselowski was the lead car at the time.
Right.
And McDowell basically got Bayne loose on the restart, slid him sideways into Hamlin, bounced back into McDowell, and they collected multiple cars. A lot of cars. This was a huge incident. They took out a lot of vehicles or damaged them. So involved we had the 6, the 11, the 15, the 21, the 43, the 55, the 95, and then there were a few other cars that were involved for sure, but suffered a lot less damage. This was a major incident.
Yep.
And I think a really stupid move on McDowell's part.
Yeah, and
I wouldn't say it was a horrid move on his part.
I think it
would
did
see
what
a
he
lot of other
intended
drivers
it to.
doing it, but
It just
he
overdid
wanted no, and because we talk to those guys on a regular basis, and he was trying to win the race. He's like, this is our one chance to make the chase, because that team's never made the chase. He was like, we're gonna make the chase. We can do it in this race. And he was like, if we push, maybe we can get behind somebody, then move them, then win the race. And it just did not work. And we
See, I don't even think
love
they would have won regardless because they didn't have
that.
the fastest cars at the top.
No, but with the drafting at Indy and stuff like that, it's possible. I mean,
Slow
think
cars
about it.
go
Nobody
fast.
thought Casey Kane was going to win that race, but
Hell
they
no.
were trying to do what
He
they
had a
could.
middle of the pack car.
Yeah, probably
And
20th, 25th, somewhere around there. But he was running 5th, and hell, let's go for it. Why not? And it would just he made the split-second decision to push, and he
It
pushed.
seemed like a
when
high
he
risk,
pushed,
really low reward kind of situation.
It depends.
I don't know.
On how you look at it. It was high risk, high reward, or it was high risk and little reward. Just depends on the scenario. If that would have played out in any different way, it slightest little thing would have been changed. That would have been such a dramatically different story.
Considering
a
seeing
chance to
how
win.
tight the pack
this-
was, though, and how many crashes have already happened on the main
Everybody was
straight,
pushing. Everybody.
I expected it to go exactly like it did. As soon as I saw him right up against the back of Bane, I was like, oh shit. This doesn't look good. I said it
he
too when
pushed too
we
hard.
were watching. I was like, what is up with those first 3 rows? They are
Oh,
all
yeah.
push. They are all like they're going to cause an incident. And what do you know? They did.
Push too hard. That was the thing.
Yep.
It wasn't that. I mean, he could have easily had a top 10, but he's not going to point his way into the chase. So he's trying to get up there, push
No, but
Trevor
the way
Bayne
the front
around,
were battling,
because he knows he might be able to pass Trevor Bayne.
the way Kane and Keselowski were battling, it would not have surprised me if they would have wrecked each other. The way that was going.
Oh.
So, I don't know.
But they
I guess-
created a massive incident, but it's not as bad as, not as bad as I've ever
We've seen
seen.
worse.
But you're talking all.
It's not as bad as what happened next.
The thing is, Hamlin
I
caught
mean, we
damage.
could have had an incident that almost happened.
Hamlin caught damage, and that it kind of ruined the next restart, and that ended the race. I'll let Justin take that. Carbon.
So what
excuse me.
happened that called out the final caution was Hamlin. It's really tough to tell because they don't have a really good replay of it, and I haven't gone back to check if it is. But one of 2 things happened. Either Hamlin blew a tire, which I don't think he did because he got hit in the left, unless he blew a right tire. I'm not sure, but he got hit on the left side. And during the McDowell
Hamlin
incident.
got clipped by the 6 when
Well, hold on.
the 6 went all fishtail.
Like I said, I don't know what happened for sure. I don't know if Hamlin blew a tire, or if he just wasn't able to get the grip, or something. But they were coming out of turn 2, and all you see is Hamlin getting sideways, facing the right. So it leads me to believe that you think the right tire would have blown, despite all the damage was on the left side of the car. And Ty Dillon behind him, pushing. And Menard was on the other side of Ty Dillon. They basically, Hamlin ended up taking out Menard and Ty Dillon in the process, and caused a very controversial ending where it took about 8 seconds after that happened, well past Kane and Keselowski crossing the overtime line for NASCAR to call a caution. Now, whether
Yeah,
that
with
was
cars-
because how dark it was getting or what happened there, we don't know. We'll never know, of course.
Well,
but
the horrid thing about this is you got cars spun out in the middle of the track. These cars got to make another lap. At 200 miles an hour, they're coming down the straightaway with a bunch of broken cars in the middle of the track. That caution should have been caught instantly. But, opposed to what Steve O'Donnell says, I'm calling bullshit on his statement that it was not called because they were worried about the lights and stuff like that because Indy doesn't have the lights up. I'm calling bullshit.
I think
It's
they waited
ridiculous.
because of that reason. Because
They
didn't want to-
waited.
They didn't want to have to go back, clean the track up, make fans wait, and then just call it under red flag.
It would have taken them.
Of too dark.
No, it would take them 20 minutes to get the track clean, go around, do the damn caution laps again and shit like that, and they just wanted to race over. And I mean, it was getting dark. Even on the TV, it was dark.
Now, if they would have admitted that,
And with
like actually said that's the reason they called it,
They really should have.
I would have respected them more for it. I would have understood because honestly, that would have been a dumb idea to have to wait, have the fans wait, only to like another 20 or 30 minutes, only to realize, oh wait, we're
Just
not
to
going to go
call
again.
it.
Sorry. So if they would have said that, yes, I would have understood that. But the fact that they said no, that's not the reason. It's like, okay, then fix your consistency because this is twice now. This has happened. It happened with Truex.
Right.
I think it was Charlotte. No, not Charlotte. Kentucky. I don't remember what track it was at. Whatever.
I'm not
track-
sure which.
track-
also happened during. It also happened during the Michigan Xfinity race.
You got to be consistent
Yeah.
with it. That's
That
the
was also
thing.
another
Be
Maybe that was
consistent
actually
with your
the one I was
calls.
thinking it was.
If you got a track that's got lights, that's fine. Carry it on.
It's like
But
it's like
this
irritating.
track does not have lights.
You put the overtime line in for a reason. Use it as it's intended to be used, not basically to call the race
abused.
early in a dumb way.
Mm-hmm. Huge wreck
So-
right in the middle of the track. There's no way those cars would have come running through there at 200 miles an hour and been able to navigate that shit with the 4 or 5 broken cars sitting in the middle of the damn track. And it just doesn't make any damn sense. And
Yeah.
I'm sure all the NASCAR drivers are like, the race probably should have never restarted because it was too damn dark. This shit happened with Martinsville. That's why Martinsville has lights now. And every
And-
damn track should have it, and we'll get to the point why lights should never have been an issue here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, I do want to say one thing real quick. Justin Carbon, he's about 2.5 hours east of Indy. I'm about 2.5 hours west of Indy. He still had decent amount of lights in the theoretical time it would have taken to get everything cleaned up. There would have definitely been enough time to quickly get the race done. There was enough time to where if the crews were quick, we could have gotten the last 2 laps in.
I did say that at the time, but thinking back to it, like knowing how dark it was, like it wasn't getting dark yet. The sun was definitely down below the horizon, but then thinking again back to Indy, I've seen
You're
like
endangering
what those
the
cars
damn
look like
drivers at that
in the
point.
shadows and stuff like that. Like I can't remember what race it was, if it was Daytona or what it was.
Fucking stupid.
Where they showed like how the shadow was going over the track, and it was dark. So I can imagine it would be a similar situation with that. It's still light in the sky, but down on the track it might have been a little darker because it's hidden behind all the buildings and walls and stuff like that. So I don't know if they would have gotten the race going in time.
I mean,
But
you're nitpicking at that point. It was a dumb call by NASCAR.
yeah, regardless,
That race should
they should
that
have
race should have
either admitted what they did or be more consistent with your cautions. Call them
the
second
race
they
result
Stop.
should have been the
waiting.
same. I'm not saying the race result should have been different, but they should have fucking called the goddamn caution when the wreck happened. Instead, they waited. It would have been the same result.
So, Herden wants to talk about something that relates to this.
Okay.
How race start times at 3 p.m. He has a little discussion he wants to talk about this. So go ahead.
Yeah. And then I'll make this quick. Race start times 3 p.m. Stupid. Stupider than shit. If you're on the East Coast, I understand. You're gonna get more viewers. For the West Coast guys, yep, exactly. That's exactly why they're doing it. We don't do that for one damn reason. Some of these tracks on the East Coast, which is where most of these tracks are, do not have lights. Not most of them, but a lot of them don't. I mean, Martinsville's installed lights now because of rain delays and stuff like that, which Indy experienced. We got to get rid of these 3 p.m. start times. We got to go back to 1 p.m. start times. Everybody's like, well, it's 9 a.m. over on the West Coast. I don't care. If it's 9 a.m. over there, guess what? You got fucking 3 hours to watch the race. Start drinking at 9 a.m. I don't give a shit. Get your chicken wings. Get them on point early. Whatever. It's not like it's fucking 5 o'clock in the morning over there. This is stupid. The 3 a.m. or not 3 a.m. Excuse me, 3 p.m. start times. They're stupid. They don't make any damn sense. If it's not a damn night race, and it damn near turned into one. And if we're gonna do these 3 p.m. start times, every single track should have lights. Put the fucking lights up. That way we can clear this shit up. Because if there was lights at Indy, we would have had the damn caution. The shit would have got cleaned up, and we would have had a final restart.
I'm surprised Indy doesn't have lights, honestly.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
How big of a track it is.
Well, they have lights in storage.
They've got lights in storage, but it's not
Those
like they can go around a two mile track and put them all up.
Yeah, those are only for events that are planned at night, and that's once or twice a year.
Yep.
They don't have I'm surprised they don't have permanent lights up for that exact reason, because they have a lot of races that happen in Indy.
Yeah, you can't do this shit. I mean, the
infield has lights
weather delays happen. It's a thing. Weather delays happen all the time.
Plus, Indy
Richmond has lights. Martinsville actually put up lights because of weather delays. Just fucking put the damn lights up and do it, or don't fucking start at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's dumb.
I will say one thing that did happen. The president or vice president or something like that requested NASCAR to put Indy as a Saturday night race because they can put up those lights.
Then do it.
And in case something does happen, they can push it, but NASCAR denied them.
Okay.
Which I'm trying to figure out. Why not? It's mutually beneficial. Everybody on the East Coast gets their good time. Everybody on the West Coast is going to be late enough to where most people get off work, ready to sit down and drink a beer anyway.
Well, it'd be on a Saturday. It shouldn't be at work.
Cooler temperatures and stuff like that would probably make for very interesting racing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to talk about grip. Hell yeah. Fucking make Indy, make the Brickyard 400 a night race. Let's do it.
But I will say one thing that NASCAR should do is they should bring mobile lights that are easy installments. Because there are lights that all you gotta do is fucking move into position, plug in, and hoist.
But it's such a big track, dude. It's such a big track.
It is such a big track, but I'm just saying for general speaking, for tracks that don't have lights.
Yeah. I mean, and
Because
there's not a
a
whole
couple
lot
strategic
anymore.
lights can light up pretty decent
I
area.
don't know. I wish they'd just go to the GP circuit, honestly. I think they need to do away with the Brickyard because it's proven that it's going to be very, very, very boring race. Every year, this was a freak thing where the lead two cars essentially did
It's
something
either
stupid.
tire problems or
And
what happened this time.
I think every other year from here on out is probably just going to be the same old Indy. It's not going to be interesting unless something freak incident happens between the two for top drivers.
Okay, so
Yep.
what do we got on
The two lead
next?
drivers wrecking gave everybody hope. I think we can all agree with that.
Yeah, it would have been just a Kyle Busch show if that wouldn't have happened. So.
It would have been.
Or Truex, if Truex figured out his shit.
So
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. So next up we're gonna actually get off the top of Indy. We're done with that now.
Yep.
So let's focus on some upcoming things, specifically two things with Hendrick. One, Bowman going to the 88. Two, Dale Jr. signing with NBC. Caboose,
Yep.
let's start with you this time, because we know her.
I'm very excited for Alex Bowman. He sure as hell earned that ride. He proved it last year that he can drive the wheels off of it, literally and metaphorically. Not a lot of cars made it back home when he had to fill in for Dale.
But he did
but
dominate
he's proven
Phoenix.
that he can drive. He did dominate Phoenix until Kevin Harvick and or his spotter was an absolute idiot. They're bringing back the Nationwide car because Nationwide likes Bowman. I believe they're gonna also bring the
Exalta's coming back.
Exalta.
Zoltic.
Like 14
Yeah.
or 13
Exalta.
races.
Exalta. There we go.
So they're basically like, there's going to be like 3 races. they
Used to
have
be
fill out,
DuPont.
which I'd imagine can't be difficult.
Yep.
So
No, it won't be.
they could either just do HendrickMotorsports.com or bring in Mountain Dew or something.
No, they don't want
So I'm happy for the kid. I wish him a good career. Although he's not going to be my driver, I do wish for him to have a good career, and I will be rooting him on.
I like Hendrick.
And what was the other
Hendrick
thing?
Motorsports. Dale Jr. signing to NBC.
Dale Jr. signing NBC. They could not have picked a better driver.
P.S.
The only Jeff Gordon is an idiot. Tony, he's busy doing his own shit. Matt Kenseth, I'm sorry, but he has a dry sense of humor. He just won't fit in the booth.
Nope.
Carl Edwards, he's too busy enjoying the retired life. So the best candidate you can get is Earnhardt.
Dale Jr.
He knows what he's talking about. He's smart. He knows random bits of trivia to keep shit interesting. And he doesn't act like a schmuck.
He
Jeff
knows more about racing than anybody else that's been on the track in the last 15 to 20 years.
One thing though, how
I
long
will
He damn
say-
near
gonna
grew
be in
up on the
booth for,
track.
Well, it's a multi-year deal, so I'm thinking probably 3 years at least.
Because I could see him, honestly, like, I don't know how old Hendrick is, but eventually, I don't know, I could see him taking over for Hendrick for the team. If that happens, I don't think he'll be in the booth
Well,
anymore,
I
but-
mean, he is the farm team for him. That's an interesting fucking topic that we have never discussed. So it's possible
To even think about.
But I was going to
One
say
thing you
that
do got to
someone else-
remember is Jeff Gordon does. You got to remember one thing: Jeff Gordon does own the 48 car.
It doesn't matter who owns
So
it. It's still like
I don't know if it
Junior
plays a factor or
Motorsports is affiliated with Hendrick, and it's weird how that shit works. But I still think Alex Bowman is not going to be the face of Hendrick Motorsports in the years to
I
come.
think Chase Elliott's going to become.
You're looking at
next
Chase
up.
Elliott and William Byron.
I don't know how
I'm
much
not
longer
saying
Jerry
Bowman
Johnson's
might be
got,
bad. Bowman
Uh,
could just blow up all of a sudden, but I don't see it
but
happening.
So could Byron.
I think it's going to be Byron when he gets there. And Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott's eventually going to break through, and
Still
it's
stand
just
by the
gonna-
fact. I said. So part of my thing has been confirmed. I said Bowman's going to the 88. And I still think Byron's going to the 5. Not this year. I don't think he's going to go this year. I think they're going to fill that spot with either The whole thing with Casey Kane's
it'd be a
contract
one-year driver.
is apparently confusing right now. I'm not sure if he still has another year or if it is up. I've heard two conflicting things. And then, so I think they're going to put somebody in number 5. I don't think it's going to be Kenseth. It'd be a good idea to be Kenseth, but I don't think it's going to be.
Mark Martin coming out of retirement.
I'm with you,
one
Justin. I
mention
don't
was
think it's going to
Danica
be Kenseth
Patrick
either.
or Kurt Busch.
No, I don't.
One of those two.
I don't think it's going to. I don't see any of them going to it. I think they might hang on to. At this point, I think they might hang on to him one more year, and then the William Byron. If William Byron keeps performing like he is right now,
yep.
So if they want to go that route, I wouldn't go
Danica
Casey
lost
Kane.
GoDaddy. I mean, GoDaddy's
No, but
gone.
she can still
so
pull
Danica
sponsors.
doesn't have a whole lot.
She can pull sponsors.
Yeah, but when you got somebody down in the Nationwide Series is one that or the Xfinity Series, excuse me, this won 3 of the last 4 races. That person's gonna, look at Chase Elliott.
I don't
He
think
won.
Byron's coming I don't think he's ready next year. I think he needs one more year.
No, he's not.
No.
He's not.
He's
He's
to
not
win the
ready next
Xfinity
year.
Series.
Probably be
Do
ready.
it again
year.
next year, and then join the Hendrick crew once he has all that under his belt.
You hear that shot call? Justin's calling William Byron winning the Xfinity Series.
Yep. I mean, who else really? The other. He's got 3 wins
Elliott
already.
Sadler.
He's
It's going to be a
dominating right
junior motorsports car. There's going to be
Yeah.
a junior motorsports car regardless. But
now, unless he gets into an accident.
yeah, I'm thinking he's going to actually come back and beat Sadler. Sadler ain't going in the car.
And then I think it's cool that Dale Jr. is signing with NBC. That'll make for NBC a lot better of a freaking program to
hell
watch
yes.
because currently it sucks. I
Less
don't like
Kyle
the
Petty is
numbers.
always a good thing. The less I have to listen to Kyle Petty, the better. I don't mind Dale Jarrett. I don't mind Jeff Burton. Well, Jeff Burton's kind of irritating, but the less of that shit I gotta
so
listen to, and more Dale Jr.
So you know how,
okay.
how there's a saying that person has a very punchable face. I'm trying to figure out what's the sound equivalent to that because that's what it is for Kyle Petty.
Oh my God, he's
Yeah.
just
Jeff Gordon for me. Just listening to him bugs the hell out
meet
of
the
me.
man in real life, and you'll
He's just-
understand how punchable he is.
It's not his voice or anything. It's just what he says is so boring. He's not a boost person.
He says shit that is beyond obvious,
Comprehensible,
and then
yeah.
he also
Like, I mean, you complain about
and then
him
he also
saying
repeats
certain
what other people
things.
say.
Like, he talks about the draft and things
Mm.
like that. And I can understand saying that for, like, new NASCAR members who are just tuning in to watch, basically. I can understand that.
But he just
some of
repeats it the whole
things he
goddamn race.
says- Yeah. Some of the things he says, it's like one of us commentating on something. It's like, shut up. Obviously, that just happened. It's not...
Like,
He's not a trained
I don't
commentator
get it.
in any way. Announcer, whatever. He can't do it. He just can't. Can't come
he's
up with
got
enough
the
interesting topics to talk about.
right. He's got the know-how to do it, and he's got the I don't know what you would say, the energy to do it and stuff like
He
that.
doesn't have the
but
vocabulary.
he's got
For an
that too.
announcer.
But he just
No, I
doesn't-
mean, like, he doesn't have the difference
he talks
in
about-
vocabulary. Like, he doesn't,
I feel like,
like,
he's just
commentators
he's
can
listening
repeat
to
things,
the other people.
but make it drastically different with what they say. They could say one thing and then say it the same thing a completely different way, and it makes more
No,
entertaining
he
commentary
just-
to listen to, where he will just repeat it over
just
and over.
says the exact same thing.
It sounds like he's talking to a 5-year-old.
It's like trying to explain
He just
something
says the
to
same
someone
thing until
No,
eventually
it's
just...
who doesn't understand what you're saying, and you just keep repeating that exact same thing, trying to drill it into their mind, and they're still like, I don't know what you're saying. Change the wording.
Hey,
It's like you and me all the time.
Yes.
You ask me, have you heard about blah, and I'm sitting here going, what? And then you'll repeat exactly the same what, and then you say it slightly different. It's like, oh, you mean this shit. And it's like,
Basically.
yeah.
hey, so
Like, you
just in
don't change
case
it
you're
multiple
listening,
times.
Kyle Petty, we all think you suck.
Fuck off.
Same with
Leave,
you, Rainbow Warrior.
please.
Like,
Don't fucking ever commentate ever again.
Yep.
Please resign
Never.
from
Go away.
NBC. We don't want you anymore.
Take your money
Get
and
the
run.
fuck out of here. Steve Letart's better. Jeff Burton's
Go run
better
your
than you,
team.
and that's horrible.
Don't bother with the booth.
Just
Okay,
get
so
the fuck
let's.
out.
We're pushing a lot of time.
Alright.
We were making good time
Yeah.
until
We're
this
at
topic.
45 fucking minutes.
Yeah, we were making
Do
good
it-
time
do it
until this
quick.
topic. But last thing,
Point
real
standings.
fast, point standings. How we think it's going to end. We have a lot of drivers who have wins this season, which is abnormal, and it's going to cut
Can
out a
I
lot
just-
of people who have been battling for points.
Can I just do one thing on this? Logano's not making it. That's it. That's all I got to say.
He still has Richmond left. It's possible. That's still out of the chase. So.
Doesn't matter. It'll be encumbered.
Goose, any comments about it?
Nope.
With Logano, it's just going to take one good race for him to snap out of this funk.
Well, just
He
the
was
whole
actually
point
running
standings
pretty
in
decent
general.
at Indy. Point standings. If I don't see one Hendrick car make it to the final, I will not be surprised.
Any
Currently,
surprise
it's only
runners?
Casey
Real
Kane and
quick.
Jimmy Johnson, and I mean Jimmy could pull
Chase,
what
if
he
he
did
makes
last
it
year,
in
I
on
guess, but
points.
Surprise winners.
I don't think Chase is going to win up getting in points at this point.
Hasn't Chase finished second at Pocono 3 times in a row?
I don't know.
Pretty much.
Okay,
I know
don't
he's
think
finished
so.
second twice.
I think he has. Both
No,
times
because
last year
last Pocono, the finishing was Blaney Harvick, which gets us into
there
our
was not a
picks
Chevy
for
up at the top
Pocono.
of Pocono.
Okay, picks for Pocono.
I'll go first. My picks: Harvick and McD. McD, his car was running top 10, top 15 all weekend long at Pocono. Harvick, he was on the ass of Blaney with a nearly shot motor.
Okay. Pardon?
Main pick for Pocono, Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kellen, did you do your dark horse? I just realized.
Yeah, Dark Horse McD.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
not Vav.
Hurden. Okay, so what were your saying?
Does Chase count as a
He's a
dark horse? He doesn't
He
have
hasn't
a
won.
one. All right, so I'm taking
So would
Brad
Junior.
and Chase.
Brad and Chase. Interesting.
Yep.
So I think that it's not going to happen like it did last time. I don't think any Chevys are going to blow up. Maybe Chase, I guess. I don't know. He's having problems. But my Pocono picks are going to be a little
shifter
interesting.
with Dale.
I am actually going to go with Dale.
Mm,
I'm going to say Dale Jr. And my dark
Ooh.
horse is Eric Jones.
Stanky.
Eric Jones finished third
That's
last.
stanky.
if I remember correctly, Jones did
He had
have
a really good
car.
car.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to bring it back again. So
I feel like somebody here
I am
did
curious
their
how many
research.
people. I'm curious how many people are going to pick Kyle Busch.
Well,
Like, you know,
I think
in
it's
the
going to be a new
comments
winner
and
again this
stuff.
week.
I'm not.
I think so too.
No.
Fall, typical
Pocono's been
Pocono
bringing
Nope.
new or refreshed.
Nope. It's gonna be a repeat winner. I'm calling repeat.
I'm calling new.
Yep.
Justin's calling new.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I'm saying.
This is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Well,
this
that's
has
it,
been the
guys.
very long Broken Shifter podcast.
We had a lot
This
to
is going
talk
to be our
about.
longest one.
It might be.
Not quite the
But,
superlatives.
No.
And
but
the New
anyways,
Hampshire one that we
uh,
did last week that didn't get released was actually almost about as long as this one too. We had some issues with
Well,
the New
they did
Hampshire
get
one, by
released.
the way. It got released and then it got taken down.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Had a
For
little
no
issue.
particular reasons to do with the particular person here, of which we shall not mention.
Yeah, that
Right,
might
Herb?
have been me. Yeah. Shut up.
Yeah. So
Fuck you guys.
Everyone turn and stare
for
at
your
her.
own
Y'all are
safety,
supposed
we
to be
pulled
my
it.
friend.
Friends punch each other in the nuts every now and again. This is us punching each other.
Okay, so yeah, this has been the Broken Shifter podcast. And seriously, leave us a fucking comment because we're getting sick of not having any goddamn comments. Fucking put one down
Constructive feedback, please. Don't just say
I
you
don't
suck.
care.
Tell us why we
there.
suck.
To tell us, yeah, fucking say, I don't care.
Shorter
I don't need
podcast.
constructive feedback. Just to fucking say you suck, I don't care. Just fucking say something. Start fucking saying something, you assholes. But we love you.
Really? Now you're just pissing him off, and now you're gonna get us fucking down.
Oh, if they've made it this far.
No.
Come on.
Yeah.
If they made it this far, go get yourself a fucking cookie or order yourself a pizza because you fucking earned it. Hearing all this bullshit.
Get the
All
fucking
right.
get the fucking on the ball with the goddamn comments. You fucking tell us what your goddamn picks are, and do it. And
Careful, we don't need to get.
I tell you what.
Don't need to pull another one, another video down.
Here
Careful
I tell
your
you what.
wording.
If I'm not going racist. Don't. I'm fine. If you put your picks in the comments, and you are the first person to put your picks in the comments, we will include them for the next race. How about that? Give us your picks for the next race, and we will include. And we will bring it up during the podcast. If you actually do it. So, anyways, Broken Shifter Podcast. As always, I'm Hurden.
I'm Carbon.
And I'm Caboose.
Still confused.
I'm still trying to figure out why the fuck I ended up in the 5 car. It's total bullshit. That 5 car should not have been there.
Booyah.
Fuck off.
I'm so glad it's become a thing. Booyah.